Visualizing the process. The action slide. Let us practice this task a little and imagine that your main goal is to get rich. In an attempt to reach this goal, you practice visualizing a suitcase stuffed full of notes. You do the exercise according to all the rules of the third visualization type over a relatively long period of time. What will the result be from this practice, and when will it show itself? The answer is that there will likely never be any result. You can practice this exercise every day for the rest of your life, and at best you will see suitcases crammed full of money a little more often, most probably in films. Your chances of finding the treasure or winning the lottery are very slim, and who wants to rely on chance? You will wonder why this is. After all, in your thoughts, you constantly opened the case, took out the money, rearranged the notes, stroked them, and all but ate them. If the third type of visualization is more than just a film, what is the problem? And what about that all-powerful outer intention you keep talking about? In transurfing, two key mistakes undermine the example of visualizing a suitcase full of money. First, money itself is not a true goal, it's just an attribute or tool, not the ultimate aim. Secondly, focusing solely on the end goal, like the suitcase of money, won't bring you closer to it unless you're already very close to achieving it. While visualizing can expand your comfort zone and activate outer intention, it won't be enough without action. You must take steps towards your goal, not just imagine it. However, for now, we're focusing on the visualization process itself. Until now, experience has told you that if you want to achieve something, you have to focus all your thoughts and efforts on your goal. Now, you have to forget this idea. As I promised in the beginning, transurfing undoubtedly works, but you have to let go of commonly held ideas and embrace new ones that may seem a little incredible from a more conventional standpoint. We will explain how visualization in transurfing is fundamentally different to other visualization techniques. As you know, desire is the concentration of attention on a goal. Intention is the concentration of attention on moving towards the goal. The driving force behind any action is intention, not desire. Therefore, what moves you towards the goal is to visualize the process of moving towards the goal rather than to contemplate the goal itself. Intention becoming realized is a process, not a fixation on one single frame, although of course, that does not mean that the goal cannot be part of the mental picture. The mental picture of the goal should serve as the background to the central focus, which is the process. Visualization of the process differs from visualization of the goal in the same way that intention differs from desire. Desire is ineffective. We return once again to the example of lifting your arm. Imagine that you want to raise your arm. First, think about the fact that you want to raise your arm and the result of that desire, i.e., the arm in a raised position. Now, lift up your arm. At the first stage, desire is strong, but nothing happens. There's simply a statement of the fact of the desire and a mental picture of the goal, the raised arm. At the second stage, intention is in action and continues to take effect for the whole time that the arm remains in a raised position. During this process, the goal is understood to be the final image towards which one strives, but attention must be concentrated specifically on the process of achieving the goal. Finally, to desire something, to imagine oneself at the desired destination is sufficient in the early stages, but to progress any further, you have to move and carry out a concrete process. These comments might seem trivial, but look at the conclusion they prompt us to make. We visualize the process of moving towards our goal because it activates intention, and it's through outer intention that the journey is realized. In transurfing, the visualization practice involves imagining a mental picture of the process of moving towards your goal based on the principle that the goal must be reached sooner or later because the power of intention is working. Movement towards the goal does not take place in waking as quickly as it does in dreams, but there is a tangible movement nonetheless. Whatever you are doing, if it involves a lengthy journey, visualizing the process will help. This type of visualization method is particularly helpful in creative work where the end goal may not yet have acquired distinct contours. So, what should be understood by visualizing of the process in this context? When working on a piece of art, you may have a vision for its overall feel, but not yet know the final result. During breaks, imagine the piece improving with each step. Today, you refine some details. Tomorrow, you add new touches. Picture it evolving and becoming a masterpiece before your eyes. Stay engaged in the creative process, watching your work grow and transform in your hands. The key is to visualize not just the finished piece, but the ongoing process of its creation and perfection. Remember, your art won't create itself, it takes your hands and vision to bring it to life. A mother caring for her growing child is a perfect example of creating and visualizing a process. She feeds her child, puts them to bed, and watches them grow day by day. She admires their beauty, plays with them, teaches them, and thinks about their intellectual development, preparing for milestones like school. The mother is not fixated on an end result, but actively participates in and envisions the child's ongoing growth and who they will become. If what you're creating is a computer program, every day when you finish work, imagine that the program is gradually becoming more effective and easier to use, and how the next day you'll impress everyone with new enhancements. If, on the other hand, you are working on a business project, imagine that innovative ideas suddenly occur to you and that every day you introduce unique proposals. Observe the growth of your project and give yourself permission to feel assured that it's being transformed into the best example of professional standards. If you're working on your body, nourish it as a mother does her child. Imagine that your body is gradually acquiring perfect form. Look after it, train it, and then imagine that you're building more muscle, making your body look more toned. Whatever the goal, visualize the process. Visualize the means by which your project will reach completion. Visualizing the result will expand the limits of your comfort zone and set the trajectory of the alt space in the right direction. But visualizing the process of moving towards your goal will significantly quicken the work of outer intention. Do not worry if you do not yet know how your goal can be realized. Continue to visualize your target slide calmly and systematically. Once the goal fits easily within the limits of your comfort zone, outer intention will present you with a means. There is no need to rush about stressing over how to find a way of achieving your goal. Do away with importance and trust the alt flow. Watch the slide, live it, and you will automatically take the right action. This method does not stop at visualizing the process either. The material realization of the alt space is inert like resin, which is why, unless you have a messiah's mastery of outer intention, the transition has to occur gradually. Gradually not only means continuously, but also progressively. Herein lies the secret of another aspect of visualization in transurfing.